All right, hello there. So we got a little bit of an update today. Um, so the patch note came out recently, came out yesterday, and a patch also came out with the patch note yesterday on Xbox and PC. And we're going to just cover some of the updates, just because I feel like some of you guys may not have known about said patch note. I only recently found out about it like a day later. I think I'm going to make this like a common thing, just to kind of whenever there's a patch, just to kind of like go through the patch notes and stuff and what's been added, what hasn't. Also, after the patch notes, we've got some pretty exciting information. So tune around to the end. That sounds really clickbaity. We'll put it down to suspense and less clickbait. So anyway, I will link the patch notes in the description if you're interested in reading them. And I'll also, if I remember to, I'll kind of put in little pictures of like the parts I'm reading. So it's quite a small patch. So they basically said that this patch was on the Steam beta. This is something they do where they basically put the patch in a beta on the PC on Steam, and then after it kind of goes through, they basically put it live on Xbox and stuff. And I'm guessing the reason they do that is because on Xbox and Windows, there's like a certification testing you have to do with all like the updates and stuff, that takes a few days, whereas Steam is not the case. I believe you can keep pushing out updates on Steam like indefinitely, so they kind of just want to push it out first. So basically the PC players beta testers, what I'm thinking. No, I'm joking. Anyway, so this is the fixes. So for a gameplay fix, they addressed an issue that would cause space matter to become stuck to players' ships during space travel. Loading a save will now remove the space Klingon. Please note this fix should address any space matter being stuck in your travels, but not in instances where players' ships have New Atlantis attached. A fix. How does one attach a planet to their ship? I can't tell if Bethesda's joking in this little note or if it's a legit thing. Has anybody accidentally taken off and like had New Atlantis attached to them? Interesting. So this next patch note is regarding outposts, and this is quite controversial. So they fixed an issue that prevents random guns from spawning in a newly created weapon case after loading a save. So for any of you guys that aren't familiar, basically there was a way to farm weapons for money or for just legendary farming, where you would put down the weapon cases in an outpost and then you save game and you reload the save, and all of those weapons cases that are originally empty will basically regenerate like a weapon. It's kind of how sometimes when you go into your ship for the first time, you'll see like weapons and stuff. So this was mainly used by, well, there was two reasons why people would use it. The first reason was probably the main reason, to farm legendaries. Legendaries in this game are quite hard to get, at least good ones. The only method currently is to basically just save scum at a legendary enemy. So people were basically using it as a way to farm good guns. And the other method was basically using it as a way to make money. Because since Bethesda patched the chest glitch where you could get under the map and take the money from the vendors, we've no way to make money. Imagine having to make money legit. No, but it's weird how they patch this and they patch the chest glitch, because like it's a single player game first and foremost. Nobody's forcing you to do it. With regards to, yeah, like it's just if you want to do it, you can do it. If you can't, you can't. Like people on PC will be able to access console commands to basically spawn in what they want. Not to mention when mods come out fully on Xbox, and I'm assuming they're already out on PC, there's going to be one of the biggest mods for Fallout games and Bethesda games like Skyrim and Fallout is a cheat menu that allows you to spawn certain things. I quite like the cheat menu because when I'm making a new character for roleplay purposes, I'll spawn him a set of gear and a weapon and stuff. So it's just weird to me that they would choose to patch it. Now, the only reason I could think of them patching stuff like this is that they intend on at some point bringing a gameplay overhaul to make the game more difficult, potentially survival mode. Maybe they don't want survival mode to be easy, but then that's kind of a weird one, because as it goes back to with the other Fallout games, like you could turn survival mode on and off willy-nilly, I believe. Like it's just a weird one. what do you guys think of it? Like, I know it's like it's a glitch. It's kind of controversial. It's kind of like the merge thing. Well, it is, but it isn't. I mark my words. They are never going to patch the merge glitch. Don't worry about that. And then finally, the last update is regarding saves and loads. So, on the Microsoft Store version of the game and the Xbox version of the game, they fixed an issue where players could experience crashes while saving during long playthroughs without going through the Unity. Now, this is an interesting one. I personally haven't experienced this myself. Well, the thing is, I may have because my initial playthrough I did take a while before I went through Unity, so it might have caused crashes. But on the Xbox, there's a couple of other ways the game can crash, like too many saves and quick resume. So it's nice that they fixed it. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the patch notes. Now this is where the information gets a bit spicy. So on the Discord, Bethesda themselves posted, which I'm not actually on the Discord. I might have to join it just because, yeah, I'd like to find this information firsthand. Bethesda posted, said, "Hey everyone, first we read all the feedback here and greatly appreciate it and all the time and thought you put into the game. The small update was mostly to address the pet asteroid, so many asked about following our last larger update, and we want to get that one out before the holiday. We've been hard at work on many of the issues you've posted and expect an update early next year that will include a large number of in-progress quest fixes, as well as FSR3 and XESS. I don't know what they are, but I'm assuming they're to do with PC. Though we fixed several quest issues from occurring, in-progress quest fixes are much harder to fix, and we built a new system to correct those without you having to roll back your save. We're also hard at work on many of new features you've asked for, from city maps to mod support to all new ways of traveling. Stay tuned in brackets. These will be rolling out with a regular cadence of fixes and updates we expect to have roughly every 6 weeks. If something can be done in a similar hotfix in between, like the asteroid, and we feel it's safe, we'll get one of these out as well. Safe is the key here. We do take a lot of time to test even the smallest change in a game this large and dynamic. Hope this information helps. If there's any more information, let us know." So the first kind of thing to kind of take from this is the fact that they've confirmed that we're getting new content. Now, they were just talking about quality of life updates with regards to that content, and then mentioning that we're going to be getting them every 6 weeks, which is really nice to hear. With previous Bethesda games, we only really got updates, with the exception of Skyrim, which I believe got updates for a little while post-launch until the first DLC came around. This is going to be the first one where we have like constant updates, like every 6 weeks, which is really, really nice. And then obviously they mentioned about how they're also going to be trying to push hotfixes out if need be. I understand why they have to take things serious, because like a lot of people may not realize, well, you probably do realize, but games like this, any game, is very tricky. Like, you edit one line of code give it the wrong kind of decimal point or whatever, and it could have serious consequences with the game. Now, the other thing, the big elephant in the room that I'm assuming everyone is excited about, is new ways of traveling. Now, they say ways here and not way of traveling. Now, I'm not a linguistics expert, so if there's any in the comments, let me know if I'm looking into this. Maybe the American way of spelling or like using the grammar for ways means like singular. But that to me sounds like we're getting multiple modes of transportation. Now, I'm obviously excited about that because I think that's what everybody has been wanting for quite a while. Like, the jetpack is cool, but it's a bit tedious having to jetpack your way. Plus, it's not very lore-friendly having to jetpack. Now, if we think about like ways they could add it, so one of the first way I'm thinking, the more kind of plausible route, is in Bethesda's engine, they've used horses before. Now, we're not going to get space horses, obviously, because that'd be a bit funny. But if you notice around the maps, various like set pieces, there's these little kind of like mechanized like carrier robots type things, and they look like a kind of a beefed up version of the Boston Dynamics dog. If you see the dog, it's like a little dog, the robotic dog that moves. It's basically like a larger version of that that's used for carrying cargo. It's kind of similar to if you guys ever seen, there's a really good movie on Netflix called Spectral, I believe. It's about like these like entities and stuff. But they have like this big mech. I think it's called the gorilla, and it looks like a gorilla. It's got these big, like strong legs, and it basically acts as a kind of a mobile kind of like transport platform for like squads. That being said, I could see something like that coming into the game as a kind of a, like using that as a way to transport and move around, purely because the physics and the kind of the mechanics would be there in game. So Bethesda wouldn't have to do much, port a few lines of code, maybe sneak in some DLC armor, slight joke. Some of you kids might not know that reference. That was a reference to Bethesda being one of the first companies to sell a microtransaction DLC in Oblivion. They sold horse armor. It's pretty funny. Now they could obviously, like, I'm kind of more skeptical of them adding the ability to use our ship to move around on planets, just because the way the flight is, the flight's quite good in this game, but you're lacking kind of modes of transport. This game's flight is kind of similar in a way to No Man's Sky, and as you guys may have known if you play No Man's Sky, flying around on the planets can be quite difficult and involves a lot of bumping into things. And while No Man's Sky is more forgiving, I don't think Starfield would be very forgiving. I feel like if you bump into stuff, you'd explode, which is problematic. Other games like Elite Dangerous does a better job of kind of planetary flying, generally because the planets are like more barren. So there's like not a lot that you can crash into, and you've got a lot more controls. Like on Elite Dangerous, which is one of those games that whenever somebody says to me, slightly off tangent, whenever someone says to me like, oh, you can't have that game on console, too many buttons, I tell them to play Elite Dangerous, because that has like, I want to say there's several dozen button combinations. Like you can hold LB and then you have all the face buttons, you can hold RB, you have all the face buttons, but anyway, slight deal. So I don't think we're going to be getting vehicles as a kind of a way, like, like our ship, but you never know. Now, also, I've seen some people mention that we might just be getting a more updated jetpack, which I hope that's not the case. I feel like that'd be a bit silly, but you never know with Bethesda. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm gonna hopefully be doing a kind of do this every so often when they update patches and stuff, and kind of talk about them, just to kind of put the the information out there and then get your feedback on it. So regarding getting your feedback on it, what do you guys think about just in general about like the updates and stuff? Like getting them every 6 weeks is obviously going to be quite nice. Do you guys like that? Would you guys prefer like more substantial updates? Like obviously they're only focusing on quality of life now. We have no real idea of like when it comes to content, like DLC content and stuff. But would you guys do you like the kind of like consistent updates, or would you guys rather like they kind of do them at a slower pace? And then obviously the bigger question is, are you guys hyped for vehicles, transportation? I say transportation because we're not sure if it's going to be a vehicle. But what would you guys like to see? Like, realistically, what are you expecting? And then, if you could be optimistic, what would you be expecting? Like, realistically, like I was saying, I'm probably expecting, like, some sort of, like, quadrupedal robot as a kind of a transport. And then, obviously, like, optimistically, I would be cool to fly our ships, but I don't know. But yeah. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. And as always, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and check out some other videos. Bye-bye.